and 2 will see your whites. So doesn't it make sense to buy a detergent specially made to clean colors? Cheer. See, there's chlorine in your tap water, but Cheer can actually neutralize it so it can't fade your colors. And wouldn't you rather show off your colors than your whites? All color Cheer, because it's colors that count.
What's wrong? Where's your pacifier? I'm here somewhere. How about Mr. Bear? Here, sweetie. Mom's gonna find it. Don't cry, baby. Mom's gonna find it. Hey, sweetie. Look at Mommy.
Sienna, the new minivan from Toyota.
At the Weather Channel, we use the latest computer technology to stay ahead of the powerful forces of weather. Now you can too. Go to weather.com for the most extensive severe weather coverage on the internet. Track breaking weather around the country through radar and satellite images that are updated 24 hours a day. There's even an encyclopedia of severe weather facts. Weather can change in an instant. Stay informed. Be prepared at weather.com. From our computers to yours. In this half hour, WeatherScope, a comprehensive national forecast. At 40 after, TravelWise gives you the latest on travel hotspots. Then the weekend outlook. And at 50 after, the storm update. Right now on the Weather Channel, your local forecast. WeatherScope.
Powerful storms packing heavy rain and wind across parts of the southeast are beginning to wind down this hour. Hello, I'm Sharon Result, and while that is good news, the same weather system will be spreading wintry weather across the northeast by morning. We're going to take a
WeatherScope.
Well, you may have a pretty tough time getting to work in parts of the Northeast and on into New England. A winter storm is moving into that region, and it's going to mean some pretty tough travel. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sharon Resulton.
And I'm Jeff Morrow. The weather system brought heavy rain to parts of the southeast during the day Thursday, but as it moves north, it becomes a snow and an ice maker. Yuck. No, I don't think I want to talk about the rain in the southeast. We'll leave that to Sharon. Let's go ahead and put the old satellite radar composite into motion. Well, I guess I can talk about the rain in Tallahassee. Why not? Yeah, it came down really fast and furious here. As a matter of fact, there was some localized flooding in some areas, and there's still some flood watches out for parts of Florida and right on up through the mid-Atlantic and even into the Northeast in anticipation of all this rain headed your way. All right, let's go ahead and put the satellite radar composite into motion now. Boy, this looks kind of ominous, doesn't it? All this moisture headed to the Northeast, and waiting for it is a big mass of cold Arctic air. Some of the temperature readings, and we'll show those to you in just a moment, are actually below zero up here in the northern parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, and on up into Maine. We're already getting some reports of lighter snow. Altoona, Pennsylvania, some freezing rain near Johnstown, some light snow back toward Du Bois and Bradford and on over toward Harrisburg. Temperatures hovering right near or slightly above the freezing mark, except at Johnstown, where it's below freezing. So a little bit of icing there, but D.C. and Baltimore, you are above freezing. And even Philadelphia with 35 degrees, it may start off as a little sleet or freezing rain, particularly west of town, a little snow in there too. But you shouldn't have any travel problems there, particularly for the morning rush. Definitely won't in D.C., but hey, New York's hovering right at freezing, and I think there will be a little bit of snow there late overnight tonight. And maybe into the morning rush, then it will quickly go to all rain there. But interior areas will have a prolonged period of some icing. It is all rain, though, in Pittsburgh, at least for the time being. And eventually, as this moisture heads on up into the cold air, ouch. It's going to be snow, then going to sleet and freezing rain. Significant icing is possible in upstate New York and maybe, just maybe, into parts of western central New England, although coastal areas definitely will go to all rain. But there could be a little bit of snow at the beginning of this, maybe 3 to 6 inches in the Adirondacks and maybe on over into the Berkshire Mountains, at least through the noon hour. And then it goes over to freezing rain here. So we have a prolonged period of some messy weather for parts of the Northeast, particularly away from the coast. All right, let's talk about all that ice in the Northeast. And again, it's a case of lots of moisture available with this storm, Gulf moisture and Atlantic moisture, overrunning the big dome of high pressure. Even though the high is starting to slip away just a bit, the surface cold air, at least initially, stays in place, providing that overrunning surface for the moisture to surge over top of that. And so you get a prolonged area of or region where you're going to have icing, snow probably going to sleet and freezing rain with plain old rain along the immediate coast. Looks pretty messy. We'll keep you updated. Let's take a look now at the rest of the nation's weather with Sharon.
Okay, let's check it out, and we'll show you first your Friday weather, and you'll be able to get a better view as we take a peek at Friday afternoon, or I should say Friday early evening. The messy weather that we are expecting is going to be pretty nasty. The current situation reflecting all that moisture that's going to be moving on northward. Snowy travel back into the Great Lakes region and the upper Midwest, and as we showed you earlier on, still some rain happening right now around the Tallahassee area. So it's not over yet, folks, into North Florida. The rain continues, and we have had some pretty hefty amounts. West Palm, after one thunderstorm, just sat on top of you last night, over 9 inches of rainfall. In other areas measuring anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rain. So a significant amount of moisture, and you can see that southerly flow continues to bring the moisture on into much of the southeast. Still a little line of some heavier rain here and some embedded thunderstorms. Jacksonville and just north of Jacksonville seeing some of that heavier rain. Valdosta getting a dose of it, and boy, I-75 heading down this way. Still lots and lots of rainfall, relentless, as you can see the stream of moisture, that plume just coming in off of the Gulf of Mexico. There's a look at the moisture spreading northward. Again, a rain event here around Raleigh and Charlotte, rain back around Knoxville and up toward Lexington. But you go far enough north, and again we encounter the cold air, and we see that changeover from the rain to, in some cases, An icy mixture, a little frozen precipitation, some freezing drizzle into parts of northern Ohio, light snow around South Bend, occurring also into Chicago. That disturbance causing the snow is pulling on out of Iowa, but it did drop 1 to 2 inches in and around the Dubuque area, so it's been a pretty nasty scenario in much of the lower Great Lakes region. It's either rain or it's a mixture of winter precipitation, but it's been a little bit treacherous for your travels, no doubt about that. And there you can see with temperatures at or about the freezing mark, obviously we're looking for some problems on some of the area roadways. What can we expect as we head on into the forecast? Let's check it out. Your morning weather, as Jeff mentioned, going to be a bit treacherous. The snowy travel in some regions. Worcester, watch out for it. Into the Berkshires and the Adirondacks, some measurable snowfall. Heading around the Susquehanna region of New York and back into central Pennsylvania, could see a messy mixture. Philly mainly looking at a rain event, but boy, the winds will be blowing about, so you get a firm grip on that umbrella as you're heading to and from your car. Rainy travel heading back down toward Atlanta, Georgia. Charlotte looking at some of that rain. Watch it along the perimeter, 285. You know how things slicken up, and you're just going to have to plan on some extra travel time into parts of the south and east. Great Lakes area, again, just a snowy event here. This isn't going to be a big snowstorm by any means, but some nuisance snows, pesky snow showers around the Great Lakes, around, say, areas like Detroit, Chicago, and Milwaukee will keep things maybe a little bit slick, especially on some of the lesser traveled roadways. Finally, we head out into the northwest, Seattle, Portland. What's new? More rain for you up and down I-5, but a break for you in San Francisco. A few clouds, but probably not squeezing much precipitation out of those for the day on Friday, at least not during the morning hours. Friday's lows, pretty chilly all the way up into northern New England, and we're going to continue to broadcast live from Burlington, Vermont. Jim Cantore up there. He can tell you tomorrow how cold it is indeed as we head on up into northern reaches of New England. We're going to talk also about the weather during the morning and afternoon changing here, as some areas will see the warmer air pushing northward. So you're going to see a changeover from the mixed precipitation to some rain. That would be some good news. But some pretty tough travel, folks, and just kind of keep an eye on the eastern seaboard throughout the day tomorrow. I-95 going to be particularly treacherous as you go either north or south. Heavy rain and windy conditions. Obviously, this is going to be the trouble spot as we work our way through Friday. The evening for Friday looking pretty good for the center of the nation, and still just a few showers into the Pacific Northwest. There's a look at your precipitation forecast and a quick peek at Friday's high temperatures. Looking pretty good to start out the weekend in places like San Diego. Hey, that's a good thing. Look at this. In San Diego today, the weather for Super Bowl fans, exactly what you'd expect. Super. These young people were practicing all the right moves for their part in the halftime show on Sunday. Temperatures in the 60s with blue skies. And just a reminder, by the way, that you can join us starting to